what we're going to be doing in this step, and I'll show you on a bag that I've already done it, is create these little pin tucks along the kind of the where the side meets the front of the bag, and same with the back. So we're going to do this 4 times, twice on each side. So let's go ahead and get started on that. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that the lining is completely tucked into your exterior. So I like to get my finger in one of the corners in the lining and push it right up into this corner. And I'll do this one at a time to make sure stuff didn't shift while I was pinning one corner. So basically we're using this as our guide, this little corner edge, and this seam line here is where we're going to make our fold. Okay, so I like to use clips for this. You can use pins, but I definitely find that clips are a little bit easier. And I like to, when I sew all of these, I like to start at the top and work my way down. So I like to keep that in mind when I'm choosing, you know, which side to put my pin on. If I put it on this side, you know, they're going to be upside down when I go to actually sew. So I like to just start at the top, give myself a clip, and then I like to just kind of work my way down. And I usually just clip right at the seams. And you can press this if you'd like. I don't find it super necessary, but that's totally up to you. So now I'm clipped all the way down the side. Usually I do then go look inside and I can see, yep, my lining is all nicely tucked in there. And now I'll do this side. Again, I'm just tucking, making sure that lining is completely tucked in. Okay. Go all the way down. Okay, so now we have one side totally tucked, so you get basically 2 lines of patchwork or half-square triangles on each side. If you're making the plain tote, you're going to want to, there's measurements in the pattern to measure over for this, and if you'd like, you can draw a line as a guide, but for the patchwork and the half-square triangle ones, you're just going to use your seams as a guide. So then you're going to want to do it obviously on these 2 corners as well, and then we'll move over to the machine and sew them. Okay, so now I have all my corners nice and tucked and I'm ready to sew. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to stitch 1/4 of an inch from this edge here all the way down, and I like to use this is where the bottom of your bag starts, so I like to stitch right up to that seam edge right there, and then back stitch. So, take out my first clip. And you can use a walking foot if you'd like for this step, if you're using fabrics that are a little bit thicker. I'm just using my regular foot because I don't think this is going to give me too much of a problem. Famous last words. And I've got my stitch length at 3, set at 3. Okay. I'm going nice and slow, especially over those seam intersections. It's really hard to see from this angle if I'm very well lined up. Okay, so I'm approaching this seam here, next stitch. Alright, so I did pretty good. Went off a little bit there, but nothing too crazy. So that's our first line of tucking. So now we're gonna go ahead and repeat that. I'll show you this one so you can see how one side finished looks. So one thing I do like to do is I like to make sure, you know, kind of similar to when I'm top stitching around the top edge, is just continually tuck this, you know, get this seam so it's right on the fold. This is the last step, so there's no need to rush it, you know? Okay, so I'm getting close to that seam. Sometimes it gets a little bit funky. Oops. Sometimes it gets a little bit funky down at the corner, but you're not going to notice too much once you have your bag all finished. So there we go. We've got one side completely tucked, and now we can do the other side and you'll be all done. That's it.